Okay, so welcome again to our webinar, and it is our honor at the Finnish Institute for Education Research in the University of Jyväskylä to introduce our speakers and to also moderate this event or webinar series rather, because this is the first webinar of this series, and we'll tell you more about it later on in this event. So our first speaker will be Virág Suhajda from the Rogers Foundation. She's the head of the Rogers Foundation in Hungary, and she'll continue introducing herself and their work in more details very soon. And we have Kamil Maciasek, I hope I'm saying it right, from Gratosfera Foundation from Poland, who is also who has very much experience in free play, and he's an advocate for children's play in Poland. So he'll also have a lot of experience and insights to share with you today. And yes, I think Virág, the stage is yours if you would like to already start and share your presentation.
Yes, I think I will first just a little bit talk about myself and about how to say the past of this project, because I think that can be also interesting. So my name is Virág Suhajda, and I am the director of Rogers Foundation for Person-Centered Education. And I like to tell stories. I'm a folk tale therapist, so I can just tell stories, and I would like to tell the story of this project the way we are here, because it started long time ago in 2013 when Rogers Foundation was contacted by the University of Gloucestershire from London, Gloucestershire actually, not London, from UK, and they involved us in a project about freely chosen play. And I have been a trainer for a long time, and I went there to the first project meeting, and they introduced what they think about freely chosen play. And I remember that I was just sitting there and a little bit shocked of what they shared, because in my practice, it was mostly educative play, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit later. But this whole project started then, but we have it now, because after that there was a couple of other projects going on. So we had the first project on volunteers in play work, and the second project on achieving resilience through drama and play. And in the second project, I was visiting a school, Gadania school in Gdańsk, and I just fell in love with Gadania school and how they work with people. And that's when I got to know Kamil as well. So for the third project after that, that was about children access to play in schools, we already involved Gadania school and Kamil, and out of that project, Kamil's foundation was split off, or how to say so. And we already have a fourth project together with Kamil called Loose Parts Play, and we are going to talk about that project in more detail. And now this is how we are just getting to this moment of being here and having this project about using SCRAPPIES in education. And I would like now, I saw that people are just appearing, so it's a good moment that I am now starting to share my presentation here. I hope that it's working. It doesn't seem to work for me though.
Yes, we can see your slides.
Yes, but I can't change. Yeah. What is freely chosen play? So that's what I'm going to talk about today. But before I get into it, I would like to ask you all to close your eyes. Just relax in your armchairs or chairs and close your eyes a little bit. And I give a little bit of noise as well. And I would like to ask you to go back to your childhood, your imagination, and try to remember your childhood, and try to remember the first time what pops up in your mind when you were playing. Look around where you are now, where you are playing. Are you inside or outside? Are you in the garden or in nature? With whom are you there? Who are you there with you? What are you doing? How do you feel? What are the smells, the sights, the sounds? And if you think that you have a good understanding of that moment of playing in your life, then just come back to us and open your eyes. And I am going to ask you to go into small groups and share your play memories. You will be put into a groups of 3-4 people, and you will have 8 minutes for discussion, and I will ask you to share your memories with each other and to put together what the common things were in your memories. So what was this play memories about? And when you are ready and the 8 minutes are over, then we are going to invite you back, and we are going to invite you to share what you come together, what you collected together from your group. So not the memories themselves, but mostly what was play for you when you were a child. I hope you understand. So again, that you will have 8 minutes with groups of 3 or 4, and sharing your play memories, and then finding the common characteristics of the play that you had at the time. So hello and welcome back. It was very, very quick for us in my small group. We just sat apart, and I hope that you also had these very good discussions, which were hard to end. But we wanted to give a little bit more time for us to discuss. So I just would like to ask you to share what did you come up with? What were the common characteristics of the way you played when you were young? And I'm asking one person per group, or those who would like to share.
So maybe I will start with our group. I think we were number 3. So our common characteristics were that we were outside with different children, just actually without any parental control. We could do whatever we wanted, but we were still safe. And that was also about us learning how to take care of ourselves, but also about children around us. We didn't need anything else beside our imagination and ourselves, let's say that. Maybe just a ball to play some football sometimes, or other games, and just being together with just different children and just exploring the area that we were living. That I think that is common for all of us. I mean, in our group.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Other groups?
In our group, we had more or less the same experience of those of that could share. Also playing outside, but also using various things like playing with leaves or playing with the dogs, playing with things, but natural things outside, and of course playing in the ground.
Yes. Other group, if somebody wants to share. But it's then I will share our group. It was exactly the same. So that's the interesting. It was a very interesting group, because we grew up in 3 different continents actually in our groups, and still we reported the very, very same experience of being outside, playing with nature and natural elements in the garden, or even more outside, and being with other young people, mostly our siblings, sisters, brothers, but also friends and our parent, friends, children, and families. So that was this common thing. And I think although it's, for me, it isn't surprising, because we have been running this exercise for a long time for a lot of groups, and I've heard play memories from a lot of people, and they always share this. What we share is that this is how we grew up, and what we experience is that our children are not growing up this way. So there are, I see that some people are arriving still, so I'm again sharing my presentation here, and the whole issue, or the whole idea of the previous play projects were growing out of this thing that play is still there, but freely chosen play is much less available for our children as it was in the past. Some scientists says that actually play is innate. That means that play is a natural instinct, and we have to play. So when we are children, we definitely have to play, but actually when we are adult, we still have a big how to say, a draw for playing. So if you just imagine that there are so many people playing board games or different kind of games, but I would say that maybe a little bit when we are going out with friends and drink a beer or a glass of wine, we are a little bit playing too, because we are socializing with others, and there is no real imminent goal. Because one of the issue about freely chosen play, that there is no, it's not towards a goal. I will try to go on with my presentation. Yes, if you look at this play memory here, this is a thing that were used for making baking or making the dough for a bread. So maybe you recognize it. And it was one of the memories I was shared with one of my training participants, and she said that actually they stole it from the kitchen and they took it to the small floss or river they had next to the village, and they were sitting into it, and they were going in it and using it as a kind of little boat. And this memory was so lovely that I still remember, and that's why I chose this image here, because it shows everything that freely chosen play is about. It's about freedom, it's about experiencing, it's about trying out new things. It's about risk-taking as well. It's about a lot of things that for a child it's needed, but usually it's much less available now. Definitely play and playfulness, and also games, it's the common thing among them are that all of them are based on personal experience and personal participation, and all of them are using an imagination. So in play, we are using our imagination, we are using our mind and creativity. We are just coming up with very different things. We can build up houses from leaves and things like that, and we imagine that they are castles. And the third thing is that the play happen in the what if world, the transitional plays, as Winnicott, who was a developmental psychologist, issued that it's a kind of what if world. It's somewhere in between the real world, because yeah, we are playing in the real world, but we are putting our imagination outside into the real world. So we imagine, maybe this young boy here imagines that stick in his hand is a magician stick, and he can change the tree into a living animal or a monster or whatever. So there are so many things that he can imagine there, and he can put it into the real place, and that's what's happening there during playing. I said that I will distinguish between educational games and between play. In Hungarian, it's even harder. There are some people here from Hungary, because in Hungarian we have the same word for it. It's játék. We call both games and both play as játék, or we are playing with both. Also in English, but the big difference is between educational games and between freely chosen play, that in educational games, it's chosen by the educator. So me as a teacher, I have chosen, for example, this exercise for you to talk about play. I had a consciously defined goal of you thinking about your play memories. And I also set up the rules and the frames. I said that you are going to be in groups, you are going to have 8 minutes, and you have this and this and this task to do. It can be still enjoyable. I'm not saying that educational games are not enjoyable, but it's very, very different from what freely chosen play is. Because in freely chosen play, play itself is freely chosen. That means that actually it is chosen by the kids themselves. So it's them who decide what to do. So Camille just said, but also others reported that parents were nowhere around. So in freely chosen play, it's the kids themselves who decide what to do. It is also internally motivated. So in educational games, we are the ones setting the goals, and sometimes we also put a motivational factor from ours. So we are motivating the kids to participate. But in play, in freely chosen play or free play, the kids are participating by themselves. So they do it because they enjoy it. And what is also important, that is self-directed. So they are leading the way as it is. It is very different from, for example, from a board game, because in a board game, there are rules, but and also there are set ways of acting. It can be still freely chosen to play a board game, but it's not the same as exactly as freely chosen play. I don't know whether you had board games at home where you were children, but we did. And I remember that we used it very alternatively with my sister, because we took out the little figures from the board game, and actually we pretended that they are people, and we were playing with the figures of the board game and not the board game itself. So it was that way, it was already a freely chosen, internally motivated and self-directed game or play. This photo is also already from our project. So this photo, I think, is from the UK. As you see, this is already a situation where a child is playing, and Michael Follett, from him, there is this quotation. He's one of the researcher of play in England, and he says that children enter the play environment as explorers with no map. They want to explore. It's every potential for enrichment of their play, and the amount of potential for play has very little to do with the intention of an adult has. And I took this quotation because I think that it's very important when we are talking about play, that it's not just to understand what play, but how to help children play. And one of them, the way, because we are the parents who are not really needed in the play, what we can do, parents, teachers, facilitators, is to provide a space for play. To provide a space where children can really use their imagination and really can build up that fantasy world that they can build upon later on. When you are creating the space for play, and we are going to show a lot of examples for that, at least Camille will show a lot of examples, but you are already seeing some examples here. What you have to take care that there should be social spaces where the children can go and talk and be together and play little games together. They should have affordances. That means that they should have a lot of richness in colors and materials. So the more, the better. When we are going out to nature with kids, then the nature itself has a lot of affordances. When we were talking about our play memories, others mentioned there were birds chirping, so it was sounds. There are the different materials of the nature, like the bark of a tree, or the smoothness of a leaf, or the stinginess of a toxic whatever plant. So there are so many different kind of things that you meet in nature, but you can also recreate it within your place. And here you can see some of the examples of how in this place, for example, they created, there is this big bucket, there is this big, I think it's an education umbrella, not umbrella, but parachute, but there are also different kind of blankets and pillows and a lot of other things. And I think that you will see even more when we are going to show a video for you. But we here in our play projects and also in our Scrappies project here, we work with is the loose parts theory of Nicholson, who studied children who were playing in the ruins after the war, after the Second World War. And actually he found that for children, the ruins in a city, it's just a kind of how to say, a very rich ground for playing. So you can play anything because there are so many things there. And Nicholson thought that maybe we shouldn't make wars in order to create good spaces for play, but we should see what these things are about. And he said that actually children can play more creatively if they are a lot of different materials that they can move, combine, change, and mix. And this is the loose parts theory. These are the loose parts. So those kind of materials and things that they can use in very different ways. In a lot of toys. So this is the third English word after game and play. We can also introduce this word of toy. The toys usually include themselves the way of playing. So when you have, for example, a Barbie doll, or you have a match car, a little car, then somehow it contains the way you should play with it. But Nicholson says, and that's what we would like to suggest here, that actually for children it's much better if there is nothing that contains the way, or very little. So just put a lot of different materials, they are going to build up very different things, so they can make their own dolls. I think we also made our own dolls when we were children, from sticks and from straw. We can make dolls and we can make a lot of things as children, and the children very much able to use with this. And a lot of parents already found out that the children get the very expensive gifts for Christmas or for birthday or whatever, and after that, in 2 or 3 hours, they see that the children are playing with the boxes or with the material that was covering it, because that's more fun. And this is loose parts theory. And in my last I'm just checking, I have a couple of more moments left, and I would like to talk about the project that we are about to finish now. And that was the previous project before Scrappies. And I'm sure that Camille will talk a little bit more about it too, that this was the loose parts project, where we had 8 partners from 4 countries, Hungary, UK, Poland, and Slovakia. And in each of the countries, we chose one NGO and one school, because we wanted to collect evidence that this kind of supported loose parts play can work in schools. Why in schools? Because children are there together. Children today, as I just started my presentation with, they have much less opportunity for playing than we had. Even less when they are living in cities. So maybe in the villages still there are this kind of going out to the garden and play together, and going to the spring and to the forest and play together. But in cities, we are much more afraid for our children, and we are not going to let them out to the street because they can be hit by a car, or there are not that nice people out there. So we usually just have to organize the opportunity for play. Before that, it was not like that. We were just let out. When I was a child, my parents said that, okay, come home at 6 o'clock because it will be dinner, and I was just let out. But I didn't do that with my children, because they grew up in the city center of Budapest, which is the capital of Hungary. And definitely it was not the place where I would just let out my children. But then where can they play? They can play in schools. And in the UK, there is a very good best practice, good practice of how to support the children's freely chosen play in schools. And this is what we wanted to have in Eastern Europe as well. And that's why we organized this project. And that's why we involved schools, because we thought to build up evidence that it can work in schools and it can be very, very effective. And it can be also very, very enjoyable for both adults and children. And in this project, we developed, it's already past tense, I didn't change it to past tense, but it's already developed a manual of how to use it, a toolkit with a lot of tools for the schools to introduce loose parts play, training for teachers, and also we are still organizing the policy paper from the impact assessment research that we had in these 4 schools that will be ready by the end of this school year. And this is, I guess, the end, and I think I am very much keeping my time. I just have this 1 more minute, so if you have any questions, then please just put your hands up or just start to talk. But if not, then I think that I am passing the floor to you, Camille, then.
Thank you very much, Virag. Camille, do you want me to play the video now? Maybe Camille.
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, it's better. Thank you, Virag. Thank you, Virag, for the awesome introduction of loose parts play. I always like to hear about Nicholson's theory of play and about different experiences from different countries. However, we started working with Virag on the CAPS project that I will tell you more about in 2017. And starting from 2017, we also worked on different projects that also focus on children's play. However, as an introduction to my work and the things that I do here in Poland, especially in the city of Gdańsk, I would like Orsi to present you a video that represents Gratosfera project. Gratosfera project is my baby, let's say, and I'm super proud of the things that we do here in Gdańsk. But I think we will start with the video, and then I will talk a little bit more about that in a second.
Gratosfera jest projektem umożliwiającym skupienie się na swobodnej, niczym nieskrępowanej zabawie, umożliwiającej rozwój wyobraźni wśród najmłodszych gdańszczan, uczniów gdańskich szkół.
Ja jestem tutaj play liderem razem z moimi 3 czy 4 koleżankami. Pani dyrektor tutaj też nadzoruje tą naszą Gratosferę. Mamy ją od roku. Wiadomo, jak ten rok wyglądał. Trochę było tych lockdownów. Dzieciaki nie miały okazji tak bardzo mocno się tutaj zapoznać z tą Gratosferą, ale już pierwsza wizyta na tej Gratosferze pokazała, że to jest super miejsce, że dzieci się dogadują między sobą, że potrafią się super bawić. Tak jak są konflikty nawet w klasie czy w grupie, czasami o zabawkę, o jakieś słowo, zdanie, tak tutaj po prostu jest rewelacja.
W projekcie Gratosfera stawiamy na powrót do naturalnego dzieciństwa, do wolności, luzu i swobody, a wszystko to w miejscu, w którym często tego luzu właśnie brakuje, czyli w szkole. Dając dzieciom czas i oddając im przestrzeń do zabawy, chcemy, aby szkoła stała się miejscem przyjaznym, w którym dzieci mogą spędzać czas w kreatywny sposób, nie tylko na lekcjach. Zabawie dzieci służą graty, czyli elementy, które w życiu dorosłych spełniły już swoją rolę i stały się bezużyteczne. Jednak w świecie dzieci elementy te otrzymują drugie życie i nabierają całkowicie nowego znaczenia.
Namawiam inne szkoły do tego, aby stworzyły na swoim terenie taką przestrzeń dla swoich wychowanków, gdzie dzieciaki mogły się nauczyć współdziałania, pracy zespołowej, planowania, budowania wzajemnego zaufania, no i przy okazji dbania o porządek. Gratosfera nas wspiera!
Okay, thank you, Orsi, for sharing the video. And now I will share a short presentation about Gratosfera project. And Just 1 second. Okay. So my name is Kamil Maciaszek. I represent Gratosfera Foundation. I'm the head of Gratosfera Foundation, and our, let's say, motto is just let them play. But if we want to go back, we are from the beautiful city of Gdańsk, which is over 1,000 years old. And I strongly recommend you to visit this beautiful city. It's absolutely mind-blowing how this place is expanding, not only in terms of restoration of the old buildings, building the new ones, but also in terms of education and the focus of our amazing municipality to focus on projects like Gratosfera and then to support it. The city also looks amazing from this bird's view. So this is from let's say from the plane. When you arrive to Gdańsk, you will see it a little bit. But what is Gratosfera? If you want to just, because Gratosfera, that's like not really an English sense, because it combines two elements. If we look at grato, the first part of Gratosfera means graty. So in Polish, that means loose parts. Loose parts as elements that in adults' life, in our life of adults, are already useless. They are just there, but we take them and we give them back to children as an upcycle moment. So the children can just use their imagination, they can use their whatever they have inside, their instincts, their motivation, just to create whatever they want during a specific time at school. So as you can see, our children play with variety of different elements. As Virek says, the more the better. So we try our best to provide them with a lot of elements. As you can see, pipes, we have pots, we have tires, we have different materials. We have some kitchen utensils, we have pans, we have plastic elements, we have also like rubber elements also, but also nets, also carton boxes. So a lots of different elements. And our experience covers that these elements, as Virek said, they don't have a specific meaning. The meaning is given to the elements by the children, which makes play even more interesting, because when I see an element as an adult, I always see it only from the perspective of how can I use it and what it is actually for the main purpose. What is the main purpose of this element? But the children's world, the elements, they got the second life. And for one child, let's say like a long pipe is a sword, and for other child is I don't know, like a binocular or something like that, that they can just look through and look at the stars and then just explore whatever is in their mind. Graty loose parts, they can also be natural elements, like some sticks that the children in one of the schools were creating a shed. It was not a shed, it was like a tent or something. After that, they put also some materials on top of it. In here, we can see actually the container that contains all of the loose parts. So each school in Gdańsk contains a shipping container or a wooden shed that can store the loose parts. You could see some of that on the video, and that is how the loose parts are stored. Okay, it's not okay. It's working now. Also a different setting, the two pictures in here, because we do not only work with primary schools, we also have one kindergarten here in Gdańsk. That's why you see the children a little, let's say, shorter than the other ones, but plenty of settings, plenty of elements, and those elements, we do not collect them ourselves. We encourage the schools and the parents of the children to bring as much as they can. That's how we think that the community of the school that supports children's play is created. So the parents are a part of Gratosfera because they bring the elements, and children also, they bring back home the idea of what play really is and why it is important to them. So I feel like it creates this connection between not only the subjects, not only the scores that children have at school, but also the school starts to be a little bit more friendly for them. And it's very much what the children want to do during also the school day. Also, very important part of play are some of the elements, for example, like the keyboards or speakers or different electronic devices that children often see in real life, but they can only use them as with their, let's say, agreed purpose, right? And in here they can also explore, they can play different roles, and also the element play different roles in children's everyday play. They can also play with tons of water. This is actually a picture from the kindergarten that Virak was talking about, and also the school. This is our playground, and children they only ask for more water because they just want more mud. They want to create more mud, which is also outstanding. Yeah. So Gratosfera project, this is the old logo actually. So Gratosfera is 9 years of experience here in kindergarten, and also the alternative school Creogedania here in Gdańsk, and also the transnational cooperation thanks to amazing project an amazing program that is Erasmus+. So Gratosfera is a result of work on CAPS project, Children's Access to Play in Schools, where we tried our best to bring the best, let's say, from United Kingdom in cooperation with OPAL, the organization Outdoor Play and Learning, that is run by Michael Follett. And Michael is, let's say, he's a pioneer in the field of free play, working with more than 200 schools by this day around the globe. And also the ideas that we shared was taken from United Kingdom and then implemented in 5 different European countries: Poland, Hungary, Slovakia, Czech Republic, and also Austria. The important part from Gratosfera is the experience that we gathered here in Gdańsk, and also like establishing the first Gratosfera that happened in the year of 2018 at the premises of Gdańsk Sports Club here in Gdańsk. After that, we got into like a now lasting, I think, around 4 years, the cooperation with municipality of Gdańsk that actually fell in love with this idea. And we started in 2019 with 9 pilot schools, let's say. And then we had another additional 11 schools, and then additional also 9 schools. These are public schools. Public in Poland means that the parents, they don't have to pay for the education, which is like the common schools here in Gdańsk. What I'm proud of is that we actually, with this project, we survived the pandemic, let's say, because it was not easy to have a project that focuses on children's play, on like grabbing different items and then moving them just for children to be together while there is like a wild pandemic happening all around the globe. But we survived it and we came back stronger. And at this point, we have 29 schools here in Gdańsk. The aim of Gratosfera is to bring free play into primary schools. And also, as I said before, the playfulness and the play itself is served by loose parts, some unnecessary elements that are given a second life in children's world. As a part of CAPS project, and after that, while the Gratosfera was already in operation, I established the Gratosfera Foundation, and our mission is to promote free play as a basis for mental health and mental stability of children. So I believe that play is a key factor for development of a child, and it builds actually the key competencies in children's life. And I believe that only equipping children with right competencies and building their confidence while they can play will provide them with the ability to function properly in the future. What we do is we also train the teacher in a playful way. So as Virak did at the beginning of this meeting, I assume she wanted us to also have this moment of playfulness, of going back to the childhood. So I feel while I was working with children for a couple of years now, I think it is important for them to remind them that they were also children. And it is also important for parents just to look back at their lives and, okay, I was also a child, so why can't I just allow them to play? Lots of training, lots of European cooperation. And what are the next steps here in Gdańsk? The next step here in Gdańsk is to have at least 50% of Gdańsk schools equipped with Gratosfera, and that is the main goals. And this is one of the trainings for the teachers in here in Gdańsk. And what can you do for children that would benefit them? Just let them play, and I think it will be good for them. Thank you for now. Any questions at this point? If there are no questions, I would like to say that this project, this is an open access webinar as a part of our SCRAPPIES project, which is another Erasmus Plus that we run as Gratosfera Foundation, Rogers Foundation, and also the University of Jyväskylä. So these sort of short open access webinars are going to happen in the future, in the very near future. We don't have the specific date for the next meeting. However, we will provide you the information quite soon after we have the list of presenters and also the topic sorted. But let's stay in touch for now, and please don't leave yet, as we also have a let's say a feedback form, and that is already shared by Orshi on the chat. So please go now while we are still here to the Google form, and please fill it. So it will definitely help us to improve and to design the open access webinar